I've been competing for national team and competing for strongman and powerlifting. But I also been doing this for many years ago na. So we thank you for your participations, and in behalf of you is CC. So would like to welcome you and as my part also because more conditioning is different styles, maybe in different sports, maybe in swimming, weightlifting, powerlifting, bodybuilding. There's a lot of kinds of conditioning. But among of us, we talk about strength. If you do for competing stage, we do a lot of strategies, we do a lot of principles to tackle in regards about conditioning. And the special of that is we need to generalize our conditioning, especially if we hold for an athlete before we start, or we can develop a young athlete, or as they start young, or they can go for old in regards of their special skills, or any sports they can join for national team. So that's different phases. So this time I would like to give you some ideas in regards of conditionings. Most common principles here is we need to maximize our effort and time by keeping and doing our best to train our athlete. And me, as part of my uh, athlete time, and today I've been competing as my age of 41 for powerlifting. I've been doing a lot of stage or paces in regards of training and conditioning my part. How to gain my strength, how to gain my speed, how to gain my powers to do in time that when I've been in the stage, I do to maximize my effort. So eventually, our 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 stage here is we need to execute our principles. Like example, when we train our athlete, so we can distinguish how their effort can be to give in these kinds of training. Examples training. So we can divide that into particular part of our training, especially on water and on out on water, or on swimming, on the pool. So there's kind of phases right there to develop our athlete and to gain their endurance, their speed, and their power to maximize their time when they go to compete. So in regards of competing, related of competing, nations, our athletes, among of our athletes, there's experience about fatigue, there's a lot experience about soreness, experience about plateauing their muscle. So how can be as coach or as a teachers, how can we give them, or how can we encourage them to train and train and train more in that particular events in their careers, to be stronger and not facing any kinds of what we call this, any kinds of injuries. Most common times as an athlete, they are experienced of common injuries, right? So the time that the training that we can do is we need to adjust. You know the principles about fit. Do you know about fit principles here? Like no, you know that frequency, interval, time and type. You know that principles in regards of training conditioning. Okay, by the way, the principles, this is we can adjust the training principle in regards of training. Like we hold an athlete like cyclists, swimmers, Olympic, weightlifter. That skills is very hard to develop, like soccer or rugby. So in my part as a training conditioning coach, I study a lot in regards of handling my clients to pursue their skills, their skills while we doing the time as they go to a competing stage. They can have an power, or they can have an what's this, confidence to join or to participate and to partake that kinds of event. So by the way, uh, poor training can result for poor the results also look poor. If you notice in that, poor training can result poor executions. So best training can result best uh, best results also. So the importance I can recommend you guys, or I can recommend my parts, is we need to govern our principles of conditioning. It's like individual differences. Like we are thinking about dealing about our client, dealing about our students, whether in their schools. So they have an individual differences. So that individual preference we need to adjust as a coach, or as a teachers. And next, we have a principle of overload. The principle of overload is known different kind of training, especially in bodybuilding, especially in powerlifting and weightlifting. Progressions. Do you know progressions? Some of our clients, they're asking about best progression and what that kind of progression we can do to give for our students or our athletes. And then the second one, the third to the last is the adaptations. As do you know about the LTAD term, is the long-term athlete development. When we start that kind of training for our youth or for our since we have example, we have a son or child or daughter that we can join for our kinds of training, we can study it individually. So we can study it individually. So we can adjust their time, we can adjust their effort, we can adjust their level to partake that kinds of training. So simplicity in this, the principle of differences can be discovered by an actual participations in regards of our training principle and method. While about the periodization, in that kind of system in in school, they're talking about periodizations, but somehow periodization can lapse by different kinds of training. So large methods to do that is we can study individually. So according to the NISAM or ECSM, some strength conditioning certification agency, they've been talking in dealing in regards of that principles. So by the way, the problem is while we are taking our part of doing our training to our students and our outlet, the problems is we cannot adjust the training principle, the frequency and the volume that we can give to them. How could I say to this? The frequency that I give that we give to them is we can push and push. So until the time they can push, eventually they're young, so there's a lot of training, there's a lot of energy to execute of training, but somehow their body can absorb that kind of fatigue, that kind of fatigue, and however that student can be collapse soon or can be experienced badly in their condition soon if we can pause and without any adjustment and recovery in our training. So the most important of our training here is we can train our athlete to become a better athlete. We can train our student to become a better student. We can train our principals to become good principals and to share others our principles of teachings in regards of conditions. I've been uh, I've been uh, hired as a coach of business fitness manager here in San Juan, Manila, Philippines. So I've been handling the 250 PNP chip in Cabanatuan, and then I've been handling 300 chief police here in ABSI group in NAIA. So their experience, been they've been training. They have a training also, but you know, I admit to them that you have been so weak in regards of fitness training, in regards of conditioning training. Why? Why? Because there's more on sitting rather than running. There are more when uh, uh, more on office work rather than giving their time to do their physical activities. And some of them are failed in our fitness test. You know why? They're so very big. They're so very big. There's their physical have no limit in regards of uh, dealing in regards of their principles of satisfaction. You know that satisfaction. I do eat. I do like this because I have a work, but somehow the problem is I don't have time to train myself. So here, as a conditioning coach, I've been trained individually as young or an adult or a long-term athlete from deep from methods that give them a very specialized uh, protocol in regards of training. So how can I learn in that? I learned for strength and conditioning training in rugby. I've been certified as strength and conditioning in rugby. And there I've been attending a functional strength in Thailand year, on last year, October. And there's a lot of people right there combining their talent, their skills in regard of teaching. And one capability that I learned there is in
Coach,
regards
you
about
are
yes,
coach. You are
yes.
the group the official coach for strength and conditioning of Ada Milby.
No sir, no sir.
The 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 head coach of rugby in the Philippines is Ada Milby. Uh,
I've been taking rugby certification in US,
okay,
but I take here in Philippines. So I'm not competing rugby because I've been competing powerlifting.
okay,
But the principle of training is also always the same. Also the same. There's no comparison. It's almost the same. The method of teaching, the method of adaptations, and the method of training, periodization is always there. And here is we need to compress it here in our in this time of our training. I have always how many minutes have been. If you have any questions in regards of this, that's my little little uh, part to discuss
coach.
your
You still have about it says 45 minutes. You still have 45 minutes.
uh,
We just
okay.
used the 15 minutes pa lang. Yeah.
Okay, I just finished this presentations around 15 minutes to end, but after that we go for question and answer.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I tell you lately about the principles of adaptation, principle of progressions, and the principles of specific of training. So some of you who have been coach of you, some of you are coach here or a teacher. Do you have a coach here?
Most of them are coaches.
All right. So different coaches. So how do you collab your training? How do you practice your training skills for our young athlete or for our athlete? do you do you do you do you do you discuss about the training principles, how to how to train them in regards of frequency, in regards of intensity and volume somehow? But among the fitness methods here, fitness what's this fitness components that we can deal is almost we talk about five. So about agility, speed, muscle endurance, muscle strength, and cardio strength. So most of us can focus on muscular strength, and we cannot focus on muscular endurance, or we can focus on cardiorespiratory strength. So this thing is we combined our effort, we combined our learning to share our learning to benefits our clients or to benefits our students or our athletes to become a good athletes. Like I said before, we can train an athlete to become a better athlete. So I can share you about the principle of volume and intensity. So the volume intensity, we have four phases in regards, especially the volume. So we have phase one, phase two in regards of giving programming for training. Example, swimming, 100-meter dash, 100 meter. So you need to reach them by around the just this is only an example, around 25 seconds. Can say it's slow or so fast, can do that in 100 meters. So the principle of intensity and volume that we can give to our clients is can be distinguished to reach that kind of speed while we are giving to our athlete to run to swim fast or to run fast or to lift heavy or to give some agility power to move. So in my training career here, I always the stand for the basic the standards lineup of training, which I could start for stability first. Those who have doing our athlete or those have been training athlete without doing any kinds of mobility or any kinds of neuromuscular dynamic mobilizations or any dynamic movement, that's training in our athlete is poor. So we need to adjust our mobility and neurodynamic mobility in our students or our clients. So to perform good, we can teach them how to do good mobility. Second is we can do about stability, and third is we can do about what functional stability, and fourth is we can do about performance to become good athletes. So we have four only. So you do it for our mobility, stability, good performance, and athletic performance. So that kind of basis, our client can see the good results in regards of training. So in me, I've been trained myself. I didn't hired my personal coach. I learned on me as my part. I study on it, and then while I study on it, I've been testing myself. After testing myself, I've been uh, I've been I've been doing it and participate in competitions. And since I was competed for national since 2013, I guess 2013, and to max out my effort there is, about one rep max here. Do you know about one rep max here? Can thumbs up if you know about one rep max. Okay, so we can continue. Okay, we can continue. So that time the process here, the volume and the intensity which is called about overload. So we can load, and our client eventually in running we can do first is we need to assist, and second is resist. So if we assist our clients or our students or our athlete in their particular skills, it can develop good to resist and to handle any kinds of training. So, by the way, Sir Dennis can cut off me in my presentations. So, this time we'll be doing our question and answer in regards of our strength and training and strength and conditioning webinar this night, this morning, and this afternoon. So we thank you for your listening, guys, and we thank you for this time. And I can only assure you guys that all my learning here is giving you a praise or a paraphrase only. It's not about a hobby, because if we talk about strength condition, that's big book. That's big book. So different theory. There's a lot, because our strength and conditioning can study more and more. The years go on. There's uh there's a there's a study that comes out again about their theory. There's come out again. So that's why we continue to learn as a coach. We can say to ourselves that everything I can know. In myself, I've been I've been nothing. I've been nothing. No, there's no intelligent here. There's no knowledgeable here in regards of conditioning, because the conditioning, while we need to experience our first in ourselves, because that's very hard to introduce to other young athlete or to other uh, clients that we need to train them. So to become an effective coach, there's a study also in that, and to become good and strength conditioning coach, there's also a separate study on that. And if you can, a better coach can be results a better client.
When we talk about strength and conditioning, how can we implement to our athletes, especially for me as a triathlete? So let's talk about running first, because that is my specialty in today's, because we have lots of events to participate, especially in marathon. So or how can you give an athlete a better strength and conditioning preparation for that race, so that free of their injuries?
Or
So the volume, you said that before, that the volume must be, correct me if I'm wrong, yes? The volume that you give to the athlete must be gradually increased. Am I correct, coach?
it's just 5 to 10% increasing of volume in regards of training principle and method to our clients, to assure them that we can experience them an injury. Coach, to handle our client. If you are a triathlete coach, that's very good part of you to train more triathlete students, and eventually we need to practice the volume and intensity that we share or to give to them. So we don't give more progressions or more overload to our young athletes. We can develop some agility, endurance training. That's just spacing every week. So we can
Yes, coach.
continue that
Yes, coach.
little by little.
Yes, coach, you're true. But what I did, coach, is weekly I gave them 1% increasing of their volume. So, what my question is there any computation about their weight body by giving them a weights to lift, or
Uh, Yes, there's a computation on it. So that too much maximize up to 85% overload. So just around 65% of their body mass.
Okay, coach.
Okay,
Fair.
you don't loaded, and without loaded. So some
Yes,
we
coach.
need to in participation on that, in running, somehow we need to accelerate, right? You need to accelerate. If you need to pass run to run, to accelerate and decelerate. So that is the adaptation of training. But if we talk about giving loading, so not more than 65% of their
Yes.
body mass. Okay.
Yes. So I'm doing good, coach.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you. Nice. That's nice, sir. I've been run 18K last week in Bulacan. So in my body, I've been 77 kg right now. So eventually some of coaches that run, right? But the training and principle can also absorb whether you are a power lifter. Just move. Just do what's called multi-dimensional movement.
And what I want to share also and advise to all athletes is the proper form. Number one is the proper form.
Yes, that's correct, sir. So without proper form, compensated at all. That's
Hey,
correct.
thank you, coach. God
Thank you
bless.
so much. Thank you
And
so much.
I really appreciate your effort and your sharing to this group. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
What age do you think is good to start with the weightlifting? Is it age 10, age 12, age 14? What do you think? For the different maybe for the boys versus the girls.
okay, sir. I'd like to answer you, but I'm not as sure. I'm not sure in regards of participating age of weightlifting. But there's 2 years old weightlifter women or kids that we know, and 2 years old. That's all 2 years old, and they carried 2.5 kg doing snatch. Doing snatch. So as long as when we start, because we're starting about sittings, sitting positions, but that stands off with lifting ability, right? So whether start in 2 years old as they walk and then carry the bar overhead, that's starting of their weightlifting. So we can develop their strength, go and go. So but if you compete, it's around 11 or 12 on this stage for national team in weightlifting.
And that's a powerlifting, right? And what are the events in powerlifting at that young age?
Sir Mark, the power lifter start at here. Last year I've been see 9 years old boy. 9 years old boy.
And then what events do they do? Is it the deadlift and the squat? Or
Yeah,
what?
they are doing specific IPF roles. They've been squat, bench, and deadlift. There's
3 events.
squats. Yeah, there's 3 events, and that's events classified of 3 attempts. If you fail 1 up to 3 attempts, depend of the loading that you need to add on your every attempt.
Okay, and then you were speaking about the workers, maybe the police or the public service. They were falling out of shape, too much desk time. So did you make a program for them to get back in shape? What did you ask them to do?
Yes, sir. I've been doing their 6 weeks, but eventually we've been assigning them around 6 months. But we can deal with them to train around 6 weeks. But we have a program for them, especially for the big people right there, big guys right there. So we can do about measuring their waist is too much big, like I hugging the tree. So that's too much big. So among of the 30 is OP, the special personnel right there, that's they have different category in their weights. So among of them can lose around 10 to 12 kilos in 6 weeks.
And what did you have them do? What was your prescription? What was their exercise?
The prescription that we can do to them is I monitor them three training every week. We give them three training every week, and that's in 6 weeks. That is OP personnel can reduce. He reduce, or they can reduce their body and drop around 10 to 12 kilos of body weight. So we have a program on that. So we have in Cabanatuan, and also we have in NAIA Police. So I'm part of that activity here in the Philippines.
So I imagine with your fitness program, that was the big thing, is the food, that they were going to eat less.
Yeah, that's 70%. They can also use this in hospital, because I attended St. Luke's here, and they can tackle about the FIT principles.
And the progression, I think, is important. Do you have the athletes keep a logbook, or so that they're writing it down? How many reps at what weight and what date?
We have, Sir Mark, we have to cover that on training programming. I write the training programming. I wrote the training principle in Excel. I put that on the volume, the incentive examples. Today is RPE 6. It's just only RPE 6. Today, this week's only 60%. We can do only 60%. So I write down on my program table to give to our client, to my client.
Great. And you always suggest that they do aerobic exercises too. Basketball.
Yeah, of course. But that's about functionality. Add-ons for functionality. Here is only for about the agility, speed, endurance, balance. The add-on that is about strength. So I can't talk about the nutritions, but we can take a lot of times in regards, because that's very big pace in our time today. And we can combine that in our training, in our learning today.
My normal for the national team, where I'm the one making the program for the strength and conditioning also before. For the elite level, okay, we have our own opinions with regards to doing the strength and conditioning, but in swimming we are used on evaluating what is the capability of a kid. Okay, for example, if the kid is about 11 seconds and consistent to be 11 seconds, he is capable of doing 10 seconds. If the kid is doing 10 seconds 0.9 and consistent on 10 seconds 0.9, definitely for us, he can easily do 10 seconds 0.8 or 10.7. So in me, my style in doing the leg curls or leg ups. Okay, now for example, he's capable of about 8 sets of 20 reps for 200 8 sets of 20 reps, okay, on 200 pounds. Okay, so definitely is consistent. I can go for the next set of 8 sets again, for 8 sets of a 25 8 sets of 15 reps, okay, or 12 reps I reduced the reps, but I increased the weight, which is I increased the weight to about 250 or 300. Okay, so if I feel that he is capable still of about 6 inches to kick or about 12 inches to kick, I can still move for the next set of 8 sets again. Okay, for about 8 sets again of about reduce weight, no, reduce repetition. Okay, but increase weight for about 50 pounds or more. Okay, to set again another 8 sets of 8 reps, more or less. Okay, so can you have any comments on that?
Okay, so Dennis, there's no problem about giving that kind of training program to
Mhm,
your young athletes.
mhm.
But
No,
if
that
you
this is
will,
elite athletes.
the elite athlete
Uh-huh,
or that kind of professional athlete,
uh-huh,
there's no problem on that. But the main cause of giving some torture training is not good.
mhm,
Somehow torture training is to pursue our elite athlete to do much better and to move much better or to swim much better. So
mhm,
there's no problem on that. I can usually talk here in that kind of programming. Don't too much force of intensity, and with that kind of sets is very hard to adapt.
mhm,
If the speed is not changed, so we need to adjust our training. But if the speed can change definitely to the max level and max effort that our elite swimmer can do, just proceed that kind of training. It can benefit to them because some of us there have a different adaptation in training principles. Like maybe it's applicable to the other elite athlete, but to him it's not. Somehow that's reversibles. So that's challenging, but I can only say in that kind of pacing programming. So I can only say that continue on that. Even though there's not changing, just continue on that. The only we can the only I can say in that point is uh we after we do you doing that kind of programming to your elite swimmers, you know about the principle of deloading.
Normally, my style is if you're going for a macro cycle and a mesocycle, for example, a macro cycle on a
Yeah, that's good.
periodization. Yes, um, I do the gym on the once 3 months before once a week, then 2 months before 2 times in a week,
Mm,
then 1 month before, okay, the taper, okay, that's about 3 times in a week.
mm,
Now, when we go for 3 times in a week, and that's combined um, for activity on the leg or 3 activity on the leg, then 3 to 4 activity on the arms. Then with regards to the activity on that, okay, being sure that the muscles are strengthened, preparing for the simulations of the swim. Now, with
yeah,
regards to the simulations of the swim, you have your car, you prepared the kid for a cardio. The strength is you're targeting about from 2 16 to 202 or 204, the only way that they can sustain the the power of doing 31, 31, 31 is for
Mm.
them to sustain also the power of every 50. So to sustain the every 50, they need the power of the legs and the hands to sustain it for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So if
Yes.
that's about 2 minutes, the actual 8 sets is set for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's good. That's good combination of your training protocol for your elite
Mhm,
swimmers. That's
mhm,
very nice. And and we can I can say this, all the type of training method that we can give to our clients, especially on in periodizations. So it's in up about taper and deloading. So before the competition phase, it's called, there are preparatory, there are competition phase. So we need to combine that talent to mix it up, uh, to avoid uh, overtrain those to our elite athlete or our clients. So that's nice. That's nice. There's no problem on that. But too much, just avoid more onsets in regards of before the competition phase.
Normally, it's if that's about a sprinter, it's about 21 days before.
Yeah.
If that's about 21 days before, it's a taper. Now, if that's about middle distance and the distance, basically distance doesn't have too much. The middle distance is about 12 to 14 days stopped
Mm.
already. We usually stop 14 to 21 days before the competition. So
Yeah.
normally.
That's nice, sir. There's no problem on that.
Mhm,
Good process of giving training cycles on your
mhm,
elite
mhm.
swimmers.
How do you define vertical kicking with 50 pounds at the swimming pool?
Somehow I've not recommend vertical kicking, but I do some to maximize,
No,
give
when you
more
say
power.
vertical kicking at the swimming pool itself,
Ah,
you are inside the swimming pool. You're
yeah,
doing
sorry.
vertical kicking with the
I
50
think in
pounds.
gym. I think in gym.
Yeah,
You
with
know,
the,
in swimming pool, yeah. But
yeah.
some of client, some of my athlete, uh to move and to execute more power and legs, can do about, like, do you know about Nordic
Mhm,
plants?
mhm,
Give them Nordic plants or glutham developer.
mhm,
That's very nice to, eccentric or concentric movement that we can give to our athlete. So that's good, sir. There's no problem on that. So we can mix in our training principles to give to our clients. Eventually, if in a pool or in swimming pool or in out of pool, so most of the time is we need to execute more strength, and then we develop more stability and functionality in regards of training stability.
Our new TV show, Heavy or Not, has a deep dive associated podcast too. Stay in touch so we can include your wisdom in these endeavors. Sign up.
Thanks for all you do for our world of sport, your community, and the youth of tomorrow. We hope to see you again at wafsu.org and the International Swim Coaches Association event soon. Stay tuned for new exciting services coming at ago.lap.red. Stay safe.